You begin by watching a single video, then another and another, until you're hours deep into a subject you never planned on exploring. Does this scenario sound familiar to you? If it does, don't worry, you're not the only person to fall victim to the curiosity rabbit hole. I remember countless periods of my life where for days on end I dedicated myself to learning as much as I could about a topic that has fascinated me almost my entire life, neuroscience. Questions like, how does the brain create a sense of self? To what extent are our personalities determined by the processes that occur in our brains? Or what is consciousness? And so on, have led me to spend so many hours of my life falling down my own rabbit holes. What's interesting is that even now I can recall almost every detail of what I learned when I was learning to simply satisfy my curiosity. You may have experienced this too. And when it comes to studying for an upcoming test or even just doing regular schoolwork, keeping this kind of focus for even 20 minutes can be hard. It seems strange, doesn't it? We're willing to stay up late for our interests, but we can't keep the same attention for something we're supposed to learn. I've noticed that curiosity is what makes these two things so different. It's a powerful force driving us to invest time and energy into learning something purely because we want to. One of the most satisfying feelings, at least for me, is finally getting an answer to something I've been questioning for hours, days, or even months. So, here's something that my curiosity personally led me to look into: the nature of curiosity itself. Curiosity activates our brain's reward systems in similar ways to how we pursue tangible rewards. In what is said to be one of the first studies into this, Kang et al. Found that when people anticipate answers to questions they're curious about, areas in their brain associated with reward become more active. And the higher the initial curiosity was, the more likely it was that surprising answers would be remembered. Bromberg-Martin et al. Conducted studies with monkeys and found that dopamine neurons, which usually respond to tangible rewards such as food, also fire in response to information anticipation, as if the brain treats information seeking similarly to other reward-driven behaviors. In these studies, monkeys even valued information highly enough to give up part of their regular reward just to satisfy their curiosity. We aren't monkeys, as I'm sure is quite apparent, but these insights helped me begin to understand some of my personal experiences with curiosity, why the drive to learn is so powerful when it's fueled by the fulfillment of information. Researchers have made a lot of progress in understanding how curiosity works, but studies are ongoing to clarify how these systems interact and why curiosity makes learning feel so naturally satisfying. It's a complex and fundamentally human process that many of us, if not all of us, have experienced and has led to so many significant advancements. And while it may not be exactly clear how this takes place inside our heads, and not everything can be taken with complete certainty, as things in neuroscience often cannot, my curiosity will continue to drive me to seek answers to these questions and the many others that I'm sure will come up in my path to discovery. My experiences with curiosity have had a lasting impact on my studies. I began to notice connections between the things I was learning about the nervous system and the subjects I was studying in school. Suddenly, the material wasn't just abstract facts. It was information that connected back to something I genuinely wanted to understand. And so, here's some things I can share with you about what helped me use curiosity in a way to learn in a much more effective way. For one, instead of studying just to get through the material, start by asking questions. Let curiosity guide you. Simply memorizing details and facts can be a bit boring. Instead, I found that by asking yourself why certain things are the way they are, it can make the learning process a much more engaging experience. You can treat each subject like a mystery to solve, questioning why and how certain things happen. Even in subjects that seem boring at first, there's often something that can spark your curiosity. For example, if you're studying biology, you might be intrigued by a particular cellular process. Or in literature, you might connect to a character's experience. For me, by digging a little bit deeper, I usually find at least one thing that interests me, and that keeps me motivated. When I first started learning about the nervous system, I constantly looked for ways connected back to the subjects I was studying at school. Even now, I find myself much more motivated to learn about a subject that connects back to one of my interests. These connections didn't just make the information easier to remember, they also made it feel more meaningful and more personally engaging. Lastly, one of the best ways I've found to deepen curiosity is to talk about it. Teaching or discussing a topic we're curious about with others reinforces our own understanding. I often find that explaining a concept helps me see it from a new perspective, or helps me understand what part of the topic I'm missing information on, and then I can continue to explore more about it. When we share what we learn, it can also spark curiosity in others. So try these out sometimes. It might just help you out. Because curiosity is one of the most powerful tools we have. It's something that allows us to pursue knowledge for the joy of learning itself. When we follow our curiosity, learning becomes more than just memorizing facts. It becomes a process of discovery and a motivator to continue exploring the fascinating things around us. And I think curiosity is another reason why it's so important to follow what genuinely interests you. I hope by following my curiosity, I'll end up exactly where I was meant to be. And you could too. So I encourage you to ask yourself, what are you curious about? Thank you.